This
We are
conference
going
will
to
now be recorded.
methodologies. Today we are going to discuss a concept that is nothing but methodologies. Okay? We are going to discuss waterfall methodology. Waterfall methodology. This is a general topic, not only the Salesforce. These methodologies are general topic for Java projects or .NET project, Oracle, SAP, any project. In Salesforce, generally we will follow these methodologies. Okay, and the other one is Agile methodology. Okay, Agile methodologies, waterfall methodologies, and Agile methodology. Some other methodology is there, hybrid methodology. No need that. Okay. First, we will go with the waterfall methodology. Okay, waterfall methodology. Okay, methodology. Okay, and here assume that I'm going to start one new business. Assume that I'm going to start one new business. My business is I'm going to introduce new mobiles in the market. I'm going to introduce new mobiles in the market. I'm going to sell mobiles. This is my business. I'm going to selling my mobiles. This is my business. I thought okay, one mobile application is required. One mobile application is required, and one web application is required. So I'm going to start new business. My business is selling the mobiles. For my business, I thought, okay, mobile application is required, and the next one is one web application is required. One web application is required. So what I decided, I communicated with some company. Okay, I communicated with some company. Assume that I communicated with the TCS. Okay, TCS company I communicated. So yes, TCS company accepted my requirement. I mean, my business, they accepted my applications, and they are going to start. They are going to start in the sense when they accepted. So then, what is the process here? Is then once I accepted, TCS company is trying to develop my application. What is the process is from TCS company from TCS company, some people which are related to this project, which are related to my mobile application, web application development team. Okay, some people they will come to me. They will come to me. Me in the sense means I am giving business to them, right? I am the client. So they will come to the client. They will come to the client. Client is nothing but they will give, client is giving some money, is nothing but some business is giving. So from TCS company, some people in the sense means who are related to this project, who are related to this project, they will come to me. Okay, who will come? Project manager. Some people, not this is not mandatory, but here we are thinking project manager, some technical architect, and some business person, some other senior developers. Okay, some people they will come which are related to this project. They will come to me and we will see. Okay, they will come to me and we will see. Okay, here in once one I mean they will come to me and we will sit, then we will discuss about the this is my requirement. For this requirement, how much time it will take, and each and everything, what are my requirements, everything I will discuss with them. I in the sense means client will discuss everything with them. This is my requirement, this is my requirement. From company people, what they will do, yes, some cases are possible, some cases are not possible, like that in our discussion it will happen like this. So from company, what they will do is for each and every requirement they will prepare one functional documentation. Okay, functional documentation they will prepare. Okay, functional document they will prepare. Okay, functional document they will prepare, and one technical document they will prepare. Technical document they will prepare. Okay, so technical document they will prepare one functional document. This is your requirement. You are expecting your business, your screen like this, your screen like this. That is nothing but business. For business, for requirement, they will prepare one functional documentation. Okay. For that functional documentation, suppose they want the screen like this, left side this field, right side this field, and the sections, some buttons they want to add. This is, I mean, they screen like this. They want the screen like this. So that is the business, that is the functional documentation they will prepare. Your home page is like this, your next screen is like this, your next screen is like this. So technical documentation is nothing but for that home screen, how we developed. We created a page layout, or we created record type, we created which component we developed. That is nothing but technical documentation. Business is nothing but functional documentation. That business how we developed, that is nothing but technical documentation. So one for each and every requirement, they will prepare one functional documentation. That requirement how they developed technically, that is nothing but technical documentation. They will also prepare technical documentation. Once everything is fine, then the developers will start their development. Up to that, developers will not start their development. Once everything is signed up, and in functional documentation, technical documentation, everything is ready, then only the developers will start. Their development. And assume that the developers is developing the application. After 3 months, I will go to the company boss. Initially we discussed my screen is like this, right? Now I want my screen is in different format. Okay, some changes I required. Okay, the developers is starting the development. Okay, they are developing the application, they are developing mobile application and web application. Okay, after 3 months or after 6 months, my thoughts will change, right? Okay, so I will go to the company and again boss, my screen we will change it in this format. Initially we discussed in this format. So like that I will just go and ask them. So for each and every change, or we will call it as a enhancement, again they will charge, the company people will charge boss. Initially this is not in our agreement. Okay, so initially this is not in our agreement, so your screen is like this, so now again you are expecting to change the and screens, though it will come into the enhancement it will come. So we will again charge you. Okay, in this process, who is the beneficiary, who is the loser? The company is the beneficiary. So suppose what I'm trying to say is, suppose today I communicated with the TCS company. We discussed all the requirements, functional documentation, technical documentation is ready, and they started the development. Once development is going on to develop my application, assume that it will take 6 months time. In this period, my thoughts will change, right? Thoughts will change in the sense means, initially my screen should be like this. Now I am expecting my screen should be like this, so my thoughts definitely it will change, right? So whenever our thoughts changes, I will go to the company and I will ask them, boss, again I need some more changes. Means they will say this is not in our initial agreement, this is a new enhancement, again we will charge you. So the client here, I'm giving the business to them, so that is nothing but I'm giving money to them. That is nothing but here the client, I am the client. Okay, client will again need to pay some amount to the company. Here, who is the beneficiary? The company is the beneficiary. For each and every change, definitely some changes it will come. For each and every change which are not in our agreement, so they will charge. The company will charge. Then who is the loser? The client is the loser. This is nothing but waterfall methodology. In waterfall methodology, finally, what is the concept is, once functional documentation and technical documentation and everything is clear, the requirement is clear, then only the developers will start their development. Then only the developer will start their development. Okay. Then only the developers will start their development. Suppose developers are doing something and client in between came and he will ask some more changes, that it will come under new enhancement. Okay. Under this new enhancement, again the client should pay some amount. Here the beneficiary is nothing but company and the loser is nothing but the client. Okay, this is nothing but waterfall methodology. So previously, a maximum 70, I mean, previously, not Salesforce project, previous some projects, 70% of the projects are following waterfall methodologies previously, like Java projects or .NET projects or some other projects, they're following waterfall methodology. So that's why sometimes people will say, boss, my project is not yet started, still discussions are going on, like that. So that is nothing but waterfall methodology. Okay, any questions on this one? Any questions? Okay. Now coming into here. So finally, waterfall methodology. Suppose someone will ask, what is waterfall methodology? What we have to say? Once documentation is ready, I mean functional documentation, technical documentation, everything is ready, then the developers will start their development. In between, suppose some client will come and again he will make some changes to his requirement which are not in our agreement. So that requirement we will technically call it as a enhancement. Okay. So the again we will charge, the company will charge the client. So okay, here the loser is the client. Client is nothing but I am giving the business, right? I'm giving money to them, right? So that work is nothing but technically we will call him as a client. Okay, technically we will call him as a client. So here the loser is nothing but a client and the beneficiary is nothing but company. Okay, this is nothing but waterfall methodology. Now coming into agile methodology. Okay, agile methodology. In agile methodology, okay, every day. So in agile methodology the same process. Okay, assume that I'm going to start a new business. For my business, I thought I need mobile application and web application. I communicated with the TCS company. Yes, TCS company accepted. Then what is the process is, every day we have calls. Every day we have call. We have call in the sense means every day, uh, from the TCS company perspective, from the client perspective and the TCS company perspective. From the client is nothing but I, right? From my side, from my side, I or some other people, they will involve into the calls. Okay, client involved. Generally, we will use the terminology client. Okay, from the TCS company who are related to this project, everyone who are related to this project manager, technical person, developers, business analyst, everyone will join into these calls. Okay, what I'm trying to say is, in agile methodology, every day we have a call with the client. Every day we have a call with the client. Okay, in that call, from the client side, some people will join, from the projects, from the development side, I mean from the project side, from the company side, the developers who are all related to this project, everyone will join. Senior people also, everyone will join. This call is like 30 minutes or 1 hour based on your project. This call is like 30 minutes or 1 hour based on your project. Based on your project, that is completely based on your project. Maximum is 1 hour. 1 hour means exactly 1 hour only. Exactly 1 hour. 1 hour or some extra like 5 minutes or 10 minutes. Okay, not more than that. Like 30 minutes or 1 hour every day we have call. That call, technically we will call it as a scrum call. You have to use that terminology. Okay, scrum call, every day we have call. Okay, that call is like 30 minutes or 1 hour, depends on the project. Okay, who will organize that call? Who will organize that call? One person will organize that call. That person we will call it as a scrum master. Okay, that person we will call it as a scrum master. This person is from the I mean from the company side. From the company side, one person will start that call, will organize that call. That person technically we will call it as a scrum master. Scrum master will schedule the calls and he will take care about all those things. Okay, Scrum master will schedule the calls and he will send the links. Like the links are like webex links. Webex links only generally they will use webex. We have go to meeting, right? Like that we have webex link. Webex links. Okay, for how we will join is nothing but by using this webex links or some other links. Who will organize this call? One person will organize this call. That person technically we will call it as a scrum master. That calls we will call it as a scrum call. That call we will call it as a terminology, we will call it as a scrum call. Okay, scrum call, we will join from the mobile or we will join from the laptop only. Now coming into the calls, in this call, what exactly they will do is, first call, I mean generally in the first call, they will discuss about the requirements. Discuss about the requirements. Suppose five developers are there in my project. One, two, 3, 4, 5. 5 developers are there in my project. Okay. In the Scrum Master, what he will do is, for every 2 weeks, one call is there. For every 2 weeks, okay, for every 2 weeks, one call is there. That call may be 1 hour or 2 hour. One call is there, that is nothing but 1 hour or 2 hour. This is a separate call. Daily we have a call, right? Forget about that one. But for every 2 weeks or every 10 days, we have one meeting. That meeting we will call it as a Scrum meeting. Scrum meeting. Okay. That meeting we will call it as a Scrum meeting. In that Scrum meeting, okay, they will discuss the clients, they will put some requirements here. The client, they will put some requirements here. Okay. The client, they will put some requirements here. Where they will put the requirements is nothing but we will use a Jira tool or ServiceNow or some other tools they will use. Okay. Jira tools, Jira, Jira tool, okay, and ServiceNow, some other tools, okay. Scrum Master or client, they will place the requirement in this particular tools. In this particular tools, these are my requirement. They will take 20 require, they will place 20 requirements or 30 requirements or 40 and number of requirements they will place in one tool. That tool in my project I am using Jira tool. I in the sense means my clients are using Jira tool. Some project they will use ServiceNow tools. Generally, some tools they will use, okay, to place the requirement. From that tool, the Scrum Master they will take the requirement. Okay. They will suppose they will. This is one requirement. This requirement, okay. The Scrum Master will take that from that particular Jira and they will discuss and they will assign to this developer. Okay. While assigning this developer, based on the complexity of the requirement, whether we have to write a development or it is a configuration, based on the complexity of the requirement, they will assign some story points. Okay. One story point is nothing but 4 hours. One story point is nothing but 4 hours. Okay. One story point is nothing but 4 hours. Suppose they will assign two story point for this requirement, then what does that mean? 8 hours. 8 hours is nothing but one day. Within one day, we have to finish this requirement. So in this Scrum meeting, it will happen for every 2 weeks. So in this Scrum meeting, the Scrum Master will take the requirements. Which requirement he will take? High priority requirements. High priority requirement in the sense means client will ask, boss, this requirement first we have to finish. So that type of requirement he will take. The Scrum Master he will take. In that call, who are there? All the development team is there. Technical person is there. Team leads, every person is there. So they will discuss, boss, for this requirement, what is the complexity? How much time it will take? So what we have to develop? Everything they will discuss. What is the feasibility? If the feasibility is there or not, everything they will discuss. Based on that, for each and every requirement, they will assign some story points. That each and every story point, one story point is nothing but 4 hours. Two story points is nothing but 8 hours. So like that, for each and every developer, they will assign some requirement, and they will, for each and every requirement there is some story points are there. Like that, it is not guaranteed like that 12 story points per 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 sprint. Okay, not only one requirement. So they will assign one more requirement. Like that, 12 story points for these 2 weeks. They will assign one developer some requirements. Finally they will calculate for this requirement how much time it will take, like that. 10 story points. 10 story point means 40 hours. 40 hours means per week, 40 hours. So 10 story points or 12 story point, that is based on the project only. 10 story points for this developer they will assign. Like that, for each and every developer they will assign. Some requirements. That requirement, yeah, is having story points. Like for each and every developer, 10 story points 10 story points, 10 story points, 10 story points they will assign. So this is when it will happen. Every 2 weeks we have one meeting. That meeting we will call it as a scrum meeting. In that scrum meeting they will assign the requirements to the developers. For each and every requirement we have story point. For each and every story point, one story point is nothing but 4 hours where we will place that requirement. That requirement we will place in the Jira tool. I mean, we in the sense in client. Okay, here in my project they are using Jira tool or ServiceNow tool. Okay, ServiceNow tool. So now scrum meeting is completed, right, and story points are assigned. I mean, requirements are assigned, right, today. Okay, from tomorrow what I have to do, suppose I am the developer, what I have to do, I will go to the story point. I will go to this requirement tomorrow. Yesterday they assigned, okay, some requirements, some story points, some requirement they assigned to me. Scrum meeting completed and they assigned. Okay, once they assign, the sprint started. The terminology we will call it as a sprint started. Sprint. Okay, sprint, they will call it as a sprint. Within these 2 weeks period is there, right? That 2 weeks period we will call it as a sprint. Okay, that 2 weeks period they will use one terminology. This is which month? This is November month, right? November 15th to 30th. In my project I am saying, it is not mandatory to all projects. November S2, November sprint 2. So because of 17th, right, this month, today's date is 17th, right? For 15th one sprint it will complete. From 15th, from 16th another sprint it will call. 15 days sprint in my project, 15 days sprint in my project. So for this period we will call it as a terminology, the sprint. So once user stories are started and once scrum call is completed, then the sprint it will start. Then the sprint it will start. The next day what I have to do is, the next day I will go through this requirement. I will go through this requirement. In this requirement I will find what is the complexity. In the sense means, I have any questions or whether this requirement is possible or not. I will find each and every requirement. I will go through each and every requirement. So for this requirement I have some question. Okay, for this requirement I have some question. For this requirement is not possible. So from the next day onwards, every day we have 30 minutes call, right? In that 30 minutes call, everyone will join. In that call they will ask, you have any question? Yes, I have question based on my requirement. This case is not possible, and for this requirement this is my question. Like that, for each and every requirement we will discuss. Everything is fine, then I will start my development. Here who is the beneficiary? The client is the beneficiary. The company is the loser. Company is the loser in the sense means more work at the company side. So how the client is the beneficiary? Suppose today for this sprint I will assign one requirement here. For this sprint I will assign one requirement for. So he said there is no feasibility for this requirement. What I will do? What I will do? Or there is some complex anything. So what I will do? There is no feasibility. I will cancel this requirement. I will assign one more requirement for him. Okay, so because of every day we have calls, in the waterfall methodology, what it will happen, there is no communication, direct communication between client and the developer. Only higher management, project manager, technical person, they only involved with the clients. They only prepare the documentation. Once everything is done, then the developers will start. Developers responsibility, there are no calls. Just they will go to the functional documentation. For this functional documentation, this is the technical documentation, they will start the development. But in agile methodology what happened? Every day we have call. In that calls, who are related to that particular project, every person will involve. So that is nothing but agile methodology. In this agile methodology, the beneficiary is nothing but client, and the loser is nothing but, a loser in the sense means more work on the development side. So today, almost 95% of the Salesforce projects are following agile methodology process. The maximum 95% of the Salesforce projects are running in the agile methodology process. So suppose you are going into the project, and which methodology you are working, how the process, they will ask. We are following agile methodology process. In agile methodology process, every 2 weeks we have one meeting. That meeting is called scrum meeting. It is organized by the scrum master. In that meeting they will distribute the requirements. For each and every requirement, we will call it as a story. In that story, for each and every story, one story point is nothing but 4 hours. For each and every developer, the scrum master will assign the requirements. Once the requirement is assigned for each and every developer, and then we will start analyzing on that requirement. So every day we have calls, right? Based on our question, based on our requirement, what is the complexity of, or we have any questions in the every day we will discuss with the client. So we have one sprint. That sprint is for 15 days or 10 days. The time period is not guaranteed. My project for every 15 days. This is November, right? November 15th means second sprint is going to start. Yesterday started second sprint. Okay. Now that is called sprint. Use that terminology. Okay. Sprint, scrum calls, scrum meeting. Okay. How we will join? They will send webex links. Webex links are some outlook links. Okay. Based on the project, then where they will place the requirement, is nothing but in the Jira or ServiceNow tools they will use. Jira or ServiceNow tools they will use. Any questions on this one? Any questions? I will show now. The Jira tool I will show. Any questions? Okay. Now I'm going to stop this recording.
This conference will now be recorded.
You joined in the company. Okay. What is the process in the Salesforce in the sense means? Okay. On the first day, suppose you joined in the MNC company, or suppose you joined in the small company in the sense means on the first day or second day, we will get all the credentials. First thing is for mail communication. We have Gmail, right? Like that, some companies they will use Outlook. Okay, some companies they will use Gmail. Now, small companies are presently using Gmail. Gmail in the sense means they will communicate with the Google and they will take their own accounts, their own company account, not our Gmails. Okay, for example, you are working ABC company means Ramesh at abc.com. Okay, they will communicate with the Google and they will get the account with that particular Gmail with based on their name they will get an account. So the first point is once you join in the company, they will create one account for you. Okay, one mail account for you, one account for you. For mail communication, some company they will use Outlook and some companies they will use Gmail. Okay, then the next one is we are the Salesforce developers, right? We will get, they will once join in the company, maximum all companies will take again interviews they will take. Okay, based on the interview, 70% again they will take interview. Okay, we have to prepare our resume through Outlook. Through Outlook, we have to send some person. They will go to that resume again once joined in the company also. Okay, once joined in the company also, 70%, 70% the process is same. Okay, again they will take some interview. What is knowledge? What are which one you worked and everything. Again they will take the interview and they will assign to you project. Otherwise, directly also they will assign you project. Once they assign you in the project, then what is the next step is nothing but, okay, what is the next step? We will get credentials to this Outlook or Gmail. They will reset our password. They will create username. We have to work, right? We have to work in the sandbox. Okay, in the sandbox. Okay, sandbox credentials they will send to our email. They will create an account in the sandbox. While creating, they will mention this email address. For this email address, we will get a link. To reset your password, like development sandbox or test sandbox or UAT sandbox or production environment. Everything we will get on the first day or second day once you assign in the project. Okay, once you will get, you have to reset the password and you have to log in. So then they will inform to us, boss, we have daily calls. This is the link. Okay, automatically they will add a link to, they will add your email address to that particular link, and they will also include daily calls. Okay, how these daily calls mean? They will share the links, webex links or some other links they will say. Okay, webex links or some other links they will say. Outlook is also there, right?
This conference will now be recorded.
Salesforce is using agile methodology process. In interview, definitely they will ask, what is your process? How you will get a requirement? What is your project in the sense? Means first we have to explain like this. Okay, I have three years of experience, and I'm working on this project. In this project, we are following agile methodology process. In this process, every day we have scrum calls with the client. In that scrum calls, the scrum master will assign the requirements to the developers. Based on the requirement, we will start the development. Once the development has been completed, then for user testing, we will move those requirement into another sandbox, that is nothing but a test sandbox. Once in the test sandbox, user UAT, user acceptance test, means users they will test. Once user testing has been done, then we'll move into the production environment. To move the components from one environment to another environment, in my project we are using the changes, and I have experience with the configuration like workflows, process builder, and the next one is securities, profile permission set, and the record types, page layout, and coming into the development apex classes, triggers, batch classes, like this. We have to say like this, okay? And we have to use the terminologies so that he will understand. Yes, he is working Scrum calls, Scrum meetings, like that, okay? And this is the process, agile methodology, and the process. From tomorrow we will discuss interview questions for each and every topic, workflows, what is the concept, what are the interview questions. You have any doubts, then like that some main topics we will discuss from tomorrow, okay? This is for today. And